Rell Rell Rell. Looks like we're back again to talk about Rell's rework. Only this time, we actually got to see what her in-game abilities are like. They are, for the most part, not too bad. If you saw my last video, I was mostly skeptical because I was assuming they would do more changes with her kit, but in the end, believed that they would deliver, and after playing a few games, it doesn't feel half bad. That was until they gave her some adjustments and buffs, and she feels even better than before. I understand now why they had to decrease her engage area, because once you rank up your speed boost, you're going in at Mach 5, combining that with her Q, which also now stuns, and her ult. It's crazy how long you can CC chain someone with it. When I first played her, I felt, for a lack of better terms, vulnerable? Because I was mostly used to her having her E being chained to an ally, kind of like what Taric has with his E, and it just felt weird without it. But after 2 games, it was easy to live without it. The percent health damage on top of that felt nice too, making it easy to not only have decent damage, but that it isn't only applied on her autos, but her Q as well, within the time frame. The hardest thing to me to adjust to is that her Q is slower now. It has a bigger animation time than the other one, and it feels like you lunge forward, like Rell will actually take a step. I don't know if that's supposed to be the case, or if it just looks like it in her animation, because it's a huge thrust forward. Her ultimate is basically the same. I don't know if they really did anything different with that one. Probably just a few touch-ups with the animation and numbers with it. And at the time of making the script, they do have plans to nerf her. Nothing too major or anything that will cut her playmaking. It's mostly towards her jungle, which I guess had too much power. Personally, I haven't tried her jungle, nor will I, because I enjoy her support as is. But if playing her jungle makes people happy and it's viable as well as makes her more popular, then I support that decision. With this rework, they really helped fix one of Rell's main issues, being able to lock herself on someone, or at the very least be able to reasonably be able to get to that person without being pushed away, which then also attributes to her other problem, being too slow. Look, Riot, I got the whole aesthetic of she's a hefty tank, so her in-game movement speed would resemble that of a person who would actually be heaving that armor around, and I'm sure on paper it sounded really nice, and at first I was like, okay, I get it. But then over time, it felt more like a detriment than an aesthetic choice, and I'm really glad they fixed that by really amping down on her movement speed slow when she's off the horse. Although I enjoyed the idea of the fake leaks where it said she would become unstoppable, I think not adding that made her more balanced, if the leaks were at least somewhat true despite them being debunked. Her other issue was, before 6, or if she didn't have ult, she didn't have a reliable way to CC chain someone without them either walking away after said CC chain was over, or because the chain was so short, the 1 second knock up on her W, and I think the half of a second stun on her E, which was really wonky a lot of the times. Removing that and making it a speed boost for you and an ally and a damage boost for you alleviated that issue of her being too slow and not being able to get into the fight, or out of the fight if necessary. I don't expect this video to be too long, I just wanted to put out my thoughts on Rell and how her rework has treated her. But before I go, for the longest time I was planning on making a Rell rework spotlight. I believed I made a note in that in my thoughts before her rework, but since her rework didn't change as drastic as either Tahm Kench or Asol's, I was on the fence about it. I've been making a short similar to the beginning of my Asol ones, except this one's shorter as to not make it too long, and was planning on releasing it as a separate thing on its own, but I don't know. Should I make a Rell Champion rework spotlight, or should I just make the short by itself and that'll be it? Let me know what you want in the comments, and I'll wait around like a month or so, give or take, to see what the results are. Thank you all so much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.